Hi guys, so today we are going to be doing another DIY and we're going to be making a Christmas lantern. Now all of the supplies, with the exception of like one or two things, came from the dollar store. Now you can make this entire project with all just dollar store stuff, but the stuff that I got at other places other than the dollar store were like the decorative pieces. So I actually purchased this little white sleigh right here with a little Christmas tree in it, and I got this from Walmart and it was $1.94. So this is gonna go in my lantern. And then I bought this little gold tree, and this came from the Target dollar spot, and this was $3. So this is also going to go in the Christmas lantern. The two pieces of greenery right here were both from the Dollar Tree. One was the smaller one right here. These were 2 for $1, and then this larger one was $1. So we're going to be using these, but I'm also probably going to use maybe some of the leaves from this one right here. And this one actually came from, I believe, AC Moore, and it was 50% off. So this one was actually $3. But I'm probably not going to use the whole thing. I just might use like maybe one or two of the little branches. The other supplies that you're going to need is, I picked up 5 of these. These are from the Dollar Tree. These are the Certificate of Achievement plaques, and they're the ones that don't have the stand on the back. You can really use any type of a frame that you want. I actually decided to go with this one because I liked the size of it. I'm gonna make a fairly good size lantern, but you can make a smaller lantern if you'd want. So you're gonna want 5 of them. So you're gonna want 4 for each of the sides, and then 1 that we're gonna actually take apart and make a top to the lantern. I'm also going to be using, I don't know if you guys remember seeing in a previous DIY, it was the holiday beverage stand that I made. I used these little plastic containers for feet. Well, I'm going to use the rest of them. There was actually 8 of them in the package, and they came from the dollar store. So I used 4 for the other project, and I'm going to use 4 for this project for the feet on this project, because I'm going to put little feet underneath the lantern here as well. So I'm going to use 4 of those. I also grabbed this square tray. Now, this again was from the dollar store. I'd never seen these trays before. Actually, they came in 4 different sizes, and I bought all 4 sizes only because I'm always looking for different materials for projects, and I'd never seen them before, so I figured I would just grab all 4 sizes. So this happens to be I believe it's there's a smaller one, then this one, and then there's 2 larger sizes. So measurement wise, I want to say it's probably, I don't have my ruler right here, I don't believe. I want to say it's probably about maybe 11 inches, somewhere around there, 11 by 11 square. So I grabbed one of these, but you can really use any type of a square tray or stand. We're actually going to be using this for the base of our lantern. So just whatever tray or stand you decide to use, make sure that your frame will fit on the inside of it. Then finally, I'm going to be using some hot glue, and I've got a couple extra sticks of glue. So those are all the supplies that you're going to need. Overall, let's see, it's going to cost $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, maybe $10 or $12 to make this stand, but it's going to look like a $100 piece of Christmas decorations. So go ahead and follow along, and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take all of the cellophane off all of your picture frames, just like this, and you're going to want to take the backs off. Now, I should be using something, let's see here. I'm actually going to use a paper clip to kind of pry up the backs so that I don't ruin my nails. You can use a coin, you can use whatever you have around. But we're just gonna open up the backs and take this backing right off. And you wanna do this for all of the picture frames that you have. So we're gonna take this cardboard piece off of the back. Now I'm not going to throw this cardboard piece away because I'm actually going to be using this as well. But I want to take out this paper insert and I'm just tossing that. So I'm going to do this for all of the frames that I have. And then I'm just going to set them aside. Okay, so now that I've taken all of my backs off, I've set aside 4 of the frames right here, and I'm just going to leave those for now. And I'm just going to work on one frame. Now I've removed the glass from this one frame, and basically I'm going to dismantle this frame. And these dollar store frames are pretty easy to take apart. How I'm going to take mine apart is basically just by bending the ends. And it literally should just fall into pieces just like that. So we're going to actually use these pieces for the roof of the top portion of our lantern. So once they're all pulled apart, now we're going to set these pieces aside and use them at a later time. Now we want to go back to our other 4 frames that we have. Let me just clear off. All right, so now we want to go back to our other 4 frames, and we want to make sure that these little tabs right here are all pushed down onto the glass so that the glass stays in place. So go ahead and make sure all of those are pushed down, just like so, and do that for all of your frames. Be careful that you don't push too hard, because if you push too hard you might break the glass. Since there's nothing to protect the glass from these little tabs now, you just want to make sure that you're careful. Okay, so now all the tabs are pushed down. Your glass should be in place pretty securely. Now we're going to start to assemble the pieces together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hot glue and we're going to run a bead of hot glue all along the edge, the longer edge of one of our frames. So I'm going to run it all along this long edge right here. And make sure you use enough glue. Don't be afraid of using your glue. I'm actually going to run out. All right, so once you have your glue on there, you're then going to take your second frame and you're going to just place it on top of the bead of glue. And just hold it in place until it sets. We want to try to hold it in place at like a 90-degree angle. And I'm just going to hold mine here for about 30 seconds. The biggest thing with this is you want to make sure that one of your edges are flush with the other edge so that if it's sitting, it will sit flush. All right, so now what we want to do is, now that that's sitting flush like that, now we want to lay the side that we just glued down, and we want to lay another bead of glue on this side of the frame. So you don't want to lay it on the same side that we did last time. This was the side that we did last time. We want to do it, that's where we did it last time, on this frame. Now we want to flip our frame and do it on this side, because we want to have the frame sections alternating, because it will make for a better hold. All right, so now we're going to take our third frame and make sure you have it facing out, or the inside is facing in and the outside is facing out. And again, just place it down onto that hot glue and hold it in place for about 30 seconds. Now the key to making this a strong lantern is that you're alternating the frame. So this frame is butting up against this frame is butting up against this frame, and then the top frame will be butting up against this one and then resting on that one. Okay. So now your frame should look like that. Now what we want to do is we want to, on this side over here, we want to place a bead of glue on the very top right here. All right, now we're going to take our fourth frame and we're going to lay that right on top, just like so. You can set it on top of the other one just to rest it there, but we're not going to glue it on top of the other one. We're going to glue it to the side of the other one like that, so it can rest while it's setting. Okay. Now this is probably going to be your hardest part to glue. Make sure I have plenty of glue in my glue stick here, or my glue gun. So now we're going to glue, we have this part that's open, and we're going to put the bead of glue along the inside portion right here, and then we're going to butt this top frame up against it. So I'm just going to place it down a little like that. I'm going to run my glue on the inside, not the top. Right. And now we're going to butt that frame up against it, so it's like that. And just hold it for about 30 seconds. Okay, now here is your box. So it's a pretty sturdy box right now. We can actually place it up like this so you can see what it looks like. All right, I want to just show you what I meant about how important it is on the placement. To have your lantern be as sturdy as possible, you see how this frame is butting up against this one? This frame is butting up against this one, this frame overlaps that one, and this one overlaps that one. That is going to be the sturdiest method to attaching these frames together, so that way you get a solid piece. If you attach like to the inside and then to the inside, it's not actually going to be as strong as if you do this method. So that's like an important step when you're gluing your frames together. All right, so now we're going to start working on the top portion or the roof of your lantern. Now these are the extra pieces to that frame that I pulled apart. Now the frame, some of the pieces will have these little metal L brackets which held the frame together, and most of them will come out fairly easy if you just try to like pry them out a little bit with your hands. But this is what the little piece looks like that holds the frames together. You just want to make sure all of those pieces are removed from the corners of your frame piece. So you want all of the little metal pieces taken out. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I have all of the little metal L brackets taken out of each of the corners of the frame. But now we want to cut these frames pieces so that they're all the smaller length, because you have two smaller pieces from the top of the frame and then two larger pieces that were the side of the frame. So go ahead and take one or two of your backings from the original picture frame, and I'm actually going to use this to cut on. And I'm actually just using a serrated bread knife. If you have like a little arts and craft knife, you can use that. These picture frames are not, they're not very strong. They're not solid wood, so they're fairly easy to cut, and I find a serrated bread knife works just fine. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mark the long pieces. If I can show you. We're going to just mark the long pieces the same exact length as the short pieces, because you're going to cut it so that all four pieces are going to be the same length. So you want four pieces that are looking exactly like that. with the 45-degree angle on both sides, like that. So how I'm doing mine is I'm actually just taking a pen and I'm using one of them as a template, the small piece as a template, and I am just basically tracing on the larger piece where I need to cut. So I have a little mark here showing where I need to cut, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut with my serrated bread knife. And see how nicely a serrated bread knife cuts? It's just, this material is like not like the strongest material, so it's very easy to cut. So I'm actually gonna do that one more time with the other long piece. All right, so now you have 4 even pieces like this that we're going to use for our roof. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take 2 of our pieces right here, and how we're basically going to do this is we're going to take the one of the 45-degree angle cut pieces, and we're going to put some glue on this, and we're going to place it right in the corner of the lantern. And we're going to do the same thing on another piece like that, and we're going to place that in the opposite corner, and then we're going to glue those 2 corner pieces together like such. So this is going to make, you want to make sure you're gluing opposite corners. So you're going to glue one to this corner and then one to the opposite corner so that the angles meet at the very top center, just like that. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of our hot glue. Kind of just hold it in place till it sets. Alright, so I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue on the top first, and then I'm going to attach my second piece right to that. Just like so. Hold that in place for a minute or so. And now I'm going to add some glue to the other corner and hold that in place just for a few seconds. Okay, so this is what you should have now at this point, is you should have a point coming to the center. Now we're going to add our other corners to it. So we're going to add one side here and one side there, so it's going to make a roof. And I'm going to add some glue to the bottom, and I'm going to also add some glue up here to the top. I'm going to hold that in place. Okay, and finally I'm going to do the other side. Put some glue on the corner and some glue on the top portion. You might need to kind of bend it and push it into place just a little bit. And just kind of hold it there for about 30 seconds or so until the glue sets. Alright, so this is what it should look like at this point, guys. So we should have the roof on and all of the sides should be glued together. And it's okay if it's not like perfect at the top, because we're going to be covering the top here with some greenery anyhow. So you could actually use this lantern just as it is and set it on your table and, you know, put some candles in it, or you know, use it out on your front porch, or however you want to use it. You could put pine cones in it. However, I'm actually going to create a base for mine, and I'm gonna put a display inside the base that the lantern sits down on top of. So we're gonna work on the base right now. Okay, so here's that square tray that I'm going to use as my base. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take 4 of those little plastic containers, and I'm going to remove the caps from them, and I'm actually just going to glue them on to each corner of the tray, just like so. I'm actually just going to use hot glue for this. And I'm just going to glue 1 in each corner. Now, if you wanted to spray paint this a different color, you can go ahead and do so after you're done hot gluing these little feet on. I'm actually just going to keep mine white because I'm going to be doing like a white Christmas scene on the inside, like with snow. So I'm just going to keep mine white. Okay, so I have all my 4 feet on the bottom of my tray, just like so. Now it sits up nicely. And now I'm going to start creating the inner portion of my scene. And that's where I'm going to be using this little sleigh, and I'm going to be using my little tree here. And I've got some greenery, and I also am going to use some fake snow as well. All right, so I took the back of one of those picture frame backings right here, and I actually cut it. I cut a strip off the top, and I'm actually going to create a little base for this little sleigh to sit on so that it sits up higher. So it's not just sitting right flat on the tray. I want it to sit up a little higher because we're going to put some snow all on the tray. So I cut out a rectangle like this, and I basically just folded it like this, and I'm going to glue this together just to make a little box like this for that for this to sit on, just like that. And you're not going to see this. It's going to be covered with snow. You just want some sort of base for your sleigh or whatever ornament you're using to sit on. So I'm going to put a little glue on that, and I'm just gonna glue this down just like so. Make a little base, and I'm going to kind of figure out where I want that to sit on my tray. Now I'm also using this gold Christmas tree, so I'm gonna kind of put this gold Christmas tree in here as well, just to try to figure out how I want it to sit. Now I might actually make a little base for the Christmas tree as well, so that sits up as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a little base for the Christmas tree. And we'll just use another piece of this. That's why I don't throw these out, because you can always use them. Whenever I'm decorating for Christmas, I like to decorate with varying heights. So I always like save old boxes, or if I buy something that has a box, I save the box so that I can put fake snow on it or greenery on it, so that way it sits up. And I'm just folding this just by hand. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a idea of height. You can cut if you need to cut if it's too big, which that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting and folding a little flap to glue. And again, I've created another little box just like this. And I'm literally just doing this by eye. I'm not measuring anything out. I'm just making some sort of an easy, quick stand for that Christmas tree to stand on. Okay, so now I have another little stand. Make sure it's sturdy. So now that this Christmas tree can sit on that stand so it sits up a little bit. So I'm actually going to go ahead, once I've figured out how I like it on my tray, I'm going to actually go ahead and glue these pieces right to the tray. So this is kind of an overview of how it looks. I haven't glued them down yet, but I'm actually going to glue this box right here. Just put a little bit of glue on the back of the box. I don't need much, just enough so that it holds it in place. I'm just going to glue that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the sleigh. All right, so I have glued these both to the tray right here. So now that they're on the tray sturdy. Okay, so this is how it looks before I put the snow on. Again, I have these like loops of wire lights, and then I actually ended up wrapping the end around the Christmas tree, so the Christmas tree is going to light up a little bit. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stuff my snow all in and around these lights, and making sure that I can cover up all of the black and all of the wire. So here it is. I actually turned on the lights so that I can kind of see where they are. And then I'm just stuffing this snow all around just so that everything is covered. And you can see the lights kind of peering through, just like so. And I've got everything covered, and I also wanted to make sure that I can access the on-off button fairly easy, which I put it down inside the box right here, so I can just stick my finger down in there and turn it on and off, and then easily cover the box back up with the snow, like such. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some greenery to this. So I'm just taking a few of the branches and I'm going to just clip them. And I'm just going to stick a few of the green pieces just in and around my Christmas tree and my sleigh. I already stuck one piece up top which had some icicles on it. I might use this piece right here that has the little pine cone. Probably cut that one off. And you can use this dollar store greenery. I find that a lot of it is, you know, not the best looking greenery, but if you cut it off and use pieces of it, it doesn't look bad. And then just to add a little pop of red, because my colors are like these winter white colors with just pops of red, I'm going to take one of the sprigs off of this branch right here, and I'm going to pull it off like such, and I'll probably lay that like right in front. I'm going to cut it. So I've got a small little piece right here. I'm just going to kind of lay that right in front of my sleigh, just like that, just to add a little bit of red. I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is, guys. Again, I put a little bit of berries right there. I put a pine cone, a couple little pieces all around the back just to fill it in. Then I've got my nice little gold Christmas tree. And so now it's just about done. I'm going to actually take the top of my lantern and place it down on top. And you guys can see what it looks like all complete. All Alright guys, so here is the finished lantern. I ended up putting a little bow on the top with more of the berries and stuff that I ended up putting on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to keep this bow up here or if it's too much. Haven't quite decided yet, but here is the lantern complete with the scenery on the inside of the lantern, the little sleigh and the lights showing through, and everything was, for the most part, from the dollar store. So you can make this yourself. It's a pretty easy project, and it's actually a good size project too. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give me a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel, and be on the lookout for many more DIY holiday projects coming up now before the holidays. Thanks, and have a great weekend.